I have divided this session into different steps. First, I would like to speak about the missionary mandate itself. Then I would like to speak about 7 principles of evangelization. Then I would like to speak about possible methods of evangelization. Now, I would like to propose 3 methods of evangelization, taking into consideration the present context. I don't claim that these are the new methods of evangelization. These methods are already existing, but I would like to highlight. First one is evangelization through social media. Evangelization through social media. I am sure that you are new gen seminarians, you are very fond of social media, you are experts in social media, but most of us are using social media for entertainment, enjoyment, and communication, not for evangelization. Not for evangelization. Today, social media offers a great platform for evangelization. I feel what Jesus said in Mark 16:15 is more applicable and possible today. What was Jesus saying? Go into all the world and preach good news to the whole creation. Those poor, illiterate, most of them are illiterate, apostles received this message. How far could they do? Most of them perhaps could not write and read. And they did not have WhatsApp. They did not have internet. They did not have Facebook. They did not have social media. Those poor apostles had to leave their country. They had to leave their home. And they had to travel day and night to reach far places. St. Thomas came to our land and he preached. How difficult it was. All those 12 apostles could cover only a very minimum of the existing world. Compared to the extension of the whole world, they could cover only a very small area. But Jesus had told them, you go into all the world. They had the mind to go, they had the will to go, but they had no means to go. But today, we have the means to go, but we don't have the will to go. If we want, we have the means to reach the entire world today. The possibility that the social media offer is so immense. We can put into practice Jesus' commandment. Go into all the world and proclaim good news to the whole creation. In the past, there was only one way of doing evangelization. What was that? Going to an unknown place, staying there, meeting the people, and preaching. That was the only way possible. Now it has become all the more dangerous. Now it has become all the more risky. Especially when we speak in the context of Ujjain and other dioceses in the North India, it is risky. It is dangerous. I do understand. Okay, no problem. You need not go there. You need not, wherever it is possible you go, because that remains still the best means of evangelization. But whenever it is not possible, you have still means to do evangelization thanks to social media. Here I would like to bring your attention to the earlier way of war. How was the battle going on in the past? In the past, there were no sophisticated tools, weapons. So what was the practice? The practice was person-to-person encounter. Going to the border, attacking the opposite army and encroaching their land and fixing the flag there. That was the means of war in the past. There was lot of bloodshed. There was lot of problem. There was lot of attack because there was no other way. But today the way of war is totally changed. You need not even go to the border. You need not even see the border. With 2-3 buttons, you can win the battle. You can win the battle. Today, there are sophisticated means, advanced technology to win the war. You need not directly go and fight. In the same way, in the past, they had only one means to do the evangelization, to go to a different place, to meet the people directly, face to face, teaching and preaching. Today, they are hostile. They don't listen to us because they are brainwashed. Their hearts are closed. Their minds are closed. So they are coming to listen to us with a prejudice. So situation is difficult. But you have different other means to reach them. You can sit in your room. You can sit in your room. You can preach. And if you preach once, it is there forever. See, olden in the past, our pioneer missionaries, they went to a village, gathered the people and preached for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And how many people would gather there? Suppose 100 people came there and they listened. Finished. But today, if you preach 5 minutes, not only these 100 people, wherever you can reach your message, millions of people can listen to the same message. And once you upload it, it is there forever. So how much is the possibility of evangelization with the help of social media? We don't use it. We use it only for entertainment, enjoyment. We need to use it not only for entertainment and enjoyment, but also for evangelization. So you can go to different places where you need not even go directly. You can reach them. In this regard, we Catholics are far behind than the Protestants. If you have time, I hope you do watch social media. You do actively involve in the social media, and you might have noticed Protestants are far ahead of us. They are making use of all the possibilities to fill this message in the social media. You open up an ordinary social media device or platform, you can see hundreds and hundreds of messages by different people. Each one is trying to convince others. Each one is trying to reach others with their message. If we are silent, if we don't make use of this platform, what will happen? This platform will be used by others and they will spread hatred. They will spread false things against us, and our evangelization will be all the more difficult in the days to come. So if we want to do evangelization, we have to make use of this God-given platform. Today, we should not stick only to pulpits. Today's pulpits are social media. Best pulpits are social media. Make use of it. If you know good language, if you can speak well, if you can convince your listeners, you can win millions of people. I am sure. In this regard, we have to think about our language capacity. Wherever we are living, wherever we are missionaries, we should commit ourselves to learn the language properly. A missionary should not be satisfied with the language to go to fish market and buy fish. A missionary should not be satisfied with the language to go to vegetable market and buy vegetable. Very often missionaries come to mission land when they are comfortable with purchasing and traveling. They take it for granted that they know language, they stop language. Dear missionaries, we need to touch the heart of the people. If you cannot touch the heart of the people with your language is insufficient. Your language is insufficient for the evangelization. If you can attract your listeners with your preaching in a convincing manner, today's social media offer you a great opportunity of evangelization, no doubt. I recognized this great possibility. So there was a library in our bishop's house. I removed that library, not because I don't like library, I still like library, but I found it more useful to have a recording studio so that I can preach from my bishop's house. So I removed that library and we are constructing a studio, a recording room for evangelization ministry. So I will be doing 4 times more evangelization than what I am at present doing with this media room. So this media room will be my principal pulpit from now onwards, because I have recognized the value of this social media. Millions of people can be reached if you have this capacity. So we need to make use of the social media, and we need to learn the language. Language is very important. If you do not know the language of the people, how will you communicate? So give importance to language, use social media, and reach many people. The second thing that I would like to share with you is building relationships. Building relationships. It is true that many people are hostile to us. It is true that many people are prejudiced. But if we are with them and if we build a relationship with them, the situation will be different. After all, this was the method of Jesus. In John's Gospel, chapter 1, verse 14, we read like this, "And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us." So that was the missionary strategy of Jesus. That was the evangelization method of Jesus. He was Word. He took flesh and He dwelt among the people. If we examine the root meaning, it is He pitched His tent among the people. Because it is said skeneo. Skeneo means tent. Skene means pitching the tent. He pitched His tent among the people and He started moving around the people. We can see several passages where we see Jesus moving from place to place. He attended funeral ceremonies. He attended wedding ceremonies. He was attending synagogues. He was going to the marketplace. He was walking on the seashore. So He was always on move. Dear friends, Jesus did not have an office. He was a savior of the world, but He did not have an office in this world. I have only 4 districts out of this world, and I have a rather good office and doing nothing. So we are not supposed to be limited to a place. Jesus' approach was going around, making relationships, building relationships, meeting people. In the Gospel of St. Matthew chapter 4, verse 23, we read, Jesus went about the cities and villages, healing the people, meeting the people. In the Gospel of St. Matthew chapter 9, verse 35, we read the same thing. Jesus was going around from place to place. He went to cities and villages, and He met the people, and He had compassion for them. In the Gospel of Luke chapter 8, verse 1, we see again Jesus was going around. He was moving from place to place. In the book of Acts chapter 10, verse 38, we read again Peter saying about Jesus, He went about doing good. So Jesus was always on the move. What was He doing? He was meeting the people, building relationships. He was friendly with them. And in the Gospel of St. John chapter 15, verse 15, He told His disciples, I call you no longer servants, you are my friends. So He reached up to that stage, building relationships and making the people friends. Very often, we are considered as enemies. We are considered as anti-nationalists, or if we are considered as foreigners, because we fail to convince our fellow citizens. We fail to build relationships with our leaders, our fellow people. So we need to build relationships. We need to tell them who really we are. And we need to enter into meaningful relationship. Then only we need to preach. Preach after making relationships. That was the method of Jesus. Jesus was trying to build relationships. On the basis of that relationship, He started His preaching ministry, and He could win the hearts of many people. Thirdly, we need to do evangelization through attraction and witness. Attraction and witness. You know, India is deeply spiritual. An Indian is by nature deeply spiritual. If you want to convince somebody that our faith in Jesus is much better than his present faith. It needs a lot of attraction. It needs a lot of witnessing. Just by saying it will not be possible, because they are already deeply rooted in one faith. And you are trying to give them an alternative faith. And if they want to be convinced, the power of attraction and witnessing should be so tremendous. So we need to be different. We need to live a life of witnessing, an attractive life. Very often Jesus asked his disciples, especially in the Gospel of St. Luke chapter 6 verse 31 onwards, he is asking, if you are loving only those who are loving you, what is your difference? If you are helping only those who are helping you, what is your difference? So Jesus is expecting a kind of difference from us, a challenging difference, a witnessing difference, an attracting difference. We have somehow lost this aspect of difference. We are so much worried about identifying us with themselves. Then what difference do they see in us? If they don't see something different in us, why should they change? They should be challenged. They should be convinced. If you want to convince them, if you want to attract them, our life should be a life of powerful witnessing. Unfortunately, we Christians ourselves fail in living gospel values. Then how can we attract them? How can we convince them? So along with the preaching with the words, we need a powerful witnessing life. Then only we can give an alternative thought to somebody who is already deeply rooted in a faith. So a life of attraction, a life of witnessing is very important. When I say that life of attraction, I don't mean that you have to decorate yourself so attractively. Your life must be challenging. Your life must be witnessing. These are the three things which I would like to present before you in the present context. Making use of social media with all the possibilities of reaching out to people, with a special focus on learning the languages of people, so that we may be able to touch the hearts of the people. And secondly, we need to, what is the second means? We need to build the relationships. Stay with the people. Build relationships. Make a powerful communion with other people and preach. And thirdly, a life of witnessing. Attractive mission work. Evangelization with attraction, in the words of Holy Father Pope Francis. Or evangelization with a witness.